Alrighty guys, so welcome back. We are now moments away from jumping into the last game of today. We will be picking back up tomorrow. And well, I thought, we've had to stick around with the likes of Fnatic a little bit. We had to watch, two games kind of back to back. We should go for something a little bit different. So I thought I'd bring you Team Dignitas up against PyRoGEN, just so Dogbert can be biased and he can tell me all the in-depth strategies that we're about to see from the guys. And if he doesn't know them, he should probably be fired from Dignitas. And how are we doing, Dogbert? Are we okay?
Yeah, apparently my job is on the line in this case.
It is. It is. I've spoken to Odie already, and if it doesn't go well, we could be in trouble here. But yeah, what can we expect from these guys? Obviously, PyRoGEN, a very big opponent. They're not the easiest guys to take on in the third round here. But do you think we've got a good shot here for this one for Dignitas?
Yeah, I mean, so far, Dignitas and PyRoGEN have been playing against each other quite regularly. They played against each other in the last cup. It went PyRoGEN's way. PyRoGEN also won 2 games against them at the offline finals. Both of them very closely fought, and Dig came very close both times, but not enough to take them off. And PyRoGEN from that went on to absolutely dominate everyone else up until MYM in the final. And even then, it looked like they were going to take the final in a clean 3-0 until MYM rose up. But you know what? With the new lineup that Dig have, they definitely have some more upfront fragging power with Frantic there. But they don't have Warburg playing today. His internet is down, so they're playing with Marsu, who's still just as good, but he definitely not their main 5 that they're throwing out right now. But Pyro have also had a change. They've got rid of Monstro. I'm not actually 100% sure. I think Benny is they brought his replacement, but I might be horrifically wrong.
I want to stop you for a second, because Dignitas have just literally allowed Frantic the fastest route towards his house by blowing up 2 walls back to back. And that was really actually very impressive to watch. So they're clearly doing their homework here.
Yeah, definitely, but they need to make sure they get the capture here. They haven't managed to clear out that 8 house yet, and that's going to be a problem, because that's an easy spawn for them back onto that A flag if they want to take it. And right now, Dig are also going to have to look out for this capture on B. I don't think they've even noticed it yet, and this could be really bad, especially if they don't get the kills. And right now, PyRoGEN, it's all going their way right now.
Yeah, it most certainly is. Ico doing the damage there with a gun that I've not actually seen yet in use. Obviously RPG we've seen a lot today, but interesting choices being made. But let me take you through the lineups while you can see this going on in the background. So for Dignitas, as you said, they're some of the most annoying in the world names to say when I first started casting, but it is Jerk, Sneaky, Jaquili, Frantic, and Masu. They've got the speakable names out of the squad this time. For PyRoGEN or LDLC, or the several tags they have, Ico, Benny, Flash, Hadrian, and Melicium. So at the moment, we do see B and C up for grabs. A is still in the hands of Dignitas. It looks like PyRoGEN could pick up C, but actually it's Masu on the site first, and B is certainly being a contested one. It's fallen to the hands of PyRoGEN, but I'm not sure if they can actually hold on to this.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for them, but I'm very surprised from both teams here on how they're approaching it. Very much just fighting for whatever they can get, and really not really a set plan except for make sure that B flag is always contested. C is always going to be contested. There's nothing you can do about that. But Dignitas Masu holding down a 2-man defense on C eventually goes down, but that done quite enough for Dig to at least get them holding down that B flag for a little bit longer, and a spawn above C is probably inevitable. So Dig, if they can hold on B, could even threaten a trip cap here.
They certainly could, but let's head on over towards that B side. We are seeing a big presence coming in for the PyRoGEN side. 2 players round the back. Frantic has gone down. Hadrian and Flash both picking up kills here. Jaquili following suit as well. So this is not looking too good for the Dignitas side, as the B side is now being swarmed over by the PyRoGEN boys, and they will be picking this one up, but every single site at the moment is being contested. A has been cleaned out by Dignitas. It seems that C will be going their way thanks to Masu more than anyone, with a nice little setup nade across the map. But right now we are seeing the push coming in from Dignitas towards B. They look like they're happy leaving C with 1 man pretty much constantly to pester, but it's all about that A-B hold from what I'm seeing so far, as Frantic coming down, Sneaky pushing straight in. They are pincering in the opponents who are in towards that schoolhouse on the side. 1 man does manage to stay alive for a couple of seconds. It was Hadrian, but he gets picked up in the end by Sneaky, and the B side should be going Dignitas' way. Great work from Sneaky there, getting himself right in towards B and picking it up in the end. And C looks like it's being taken over in the end by the likes of PyRoGEN. Masu did go down, but they get the ideal setup, it seems.
Yeah, but devastating for PyRoGEN right now as they are playing with a man down, and that is Ikaho, a player that seems to drop quite regularly as he did in previous matchups as well. Not good for them at all. Dig holding the AB, which is definitely the best hold, and right now Sneaky here doesn't even feel content with that as he's going to threaten a trip cap here, but Melisium knows he's there and probably going to get the kill as well, but yeah, there you go. But Dignitas being ultra aggressive probably know that they have an extra man on the field, so why not? But yeah, definitely not what you want for PyRoGEN right now.
No, that's certainly not, but it's a bit of a surprise. You know, I don't want to be overly harsh to you, and I think you can understand where I'm coming from, but PyRoGEN you'd generally assume to be, you know, a solid top 3 team, whereas Dignitas have bouts where they can be, and sometimes when they're so far out of it. At the moment, it looks like Dignitas have themselves a good position. We are seeing A being challenged by Melisium, but it's only Melisium until he finally gets a little bit of support from Flash. But, you know, this is great play from Dignitas. They are looking like a refreshed side. You know, I haven't been able to see them too much. I've, you know, not had the opportunity in the last couple of cups because I only managed to do one of them, but still, you know, they're certainly giving them these guys a challenge, but still, a 2-to-1 hold with only 4 players, that's not something you want to get to. And it looks like they're going to turn that one around, hopefully.
Yeah, they need to be very careful here. This is a 4v5 here, and Pyro still managing to get the bleed here on Dig, and this is definitely not so bad at all for PyRoGEN, even though it definitely could be better if they had 5 guys in the server, yeah. But what the hell? A body just flew across the map for me. You know, things like that, the physics engine in this game really can just throw you out of a cast sometimes as you see bodies flying across the map.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's very realistic, Doug, but...
I love it. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing at all. But, you know, building control here for Dig, especially on that middle building overlooking the B flag. But Flashaw here doing a really annoying job at holding that B flag, even though it was going to eventually be captured, but slowing it down long enough, but it wasn't instantly capped over. And, you know, keeping that bleed eventually does go over, but, you know, just holding off the inevitable a little bit longer until they get their 5th back in.
Yeah, and it's not a bad way of doing things. If you know you're going to be at a disadvantage, just try and play it the best you can to that. There's not much else to really say, and they're trying to do what they can. They are going to be taking over towards that C side. They still have A, and actually Dignitas fairly slow on the return. Jerk is around there. He's right on top of these guys. He's going to be doing the damage, and he's tagged up a fair bit, down to 7 HP, and he knows he's in trouble. The site is going to be contested. There's players around there, and at the moment it's being cleared out in the end by the likes of Jaquili coming around the back. But, you know, I've got to give credit to PyRoGEN, even with 4 players, they're still being a real pain in the arse towards Dignitas. They're not allowing them an easy game at all. But still, this should be a triple cap, and I don't think there's much coming out of this after, you know, after this moment if they don't get this one really rolling very soon. And honestly, 4 players not going to help. 106 tickets against you. Even coming back into this on the other side, they're really going to be struggling to find any route back through, because at the moment they're always going to be at a disadvantage. No matter where they go without that player, they're picking up kills. They're a very talented team, but I kind of feel, you know, as you said, you know, once this happens, there's very little you can do to get back into it until you get to that second half and hopefully have your teammates back. But I kind of want them to work a little bit more away from Dignitas here, because I've been hyping up PyRoGEN and now they're just doing awfully.
Yeah, and right now 104 tickets to 25. Dig just had a trip cap. It's been finally taken away, and Haikaho back into the server, but the damage could really be done on this round, and possibly even the map here. So PyRoGEN need to do what they can here to really just make sure that this isn't so difficult for them in the next round. But Dig are not really letting up here. Jerk harassing that C flag and keeping this bleed firmly in Dig's control.
Yeah, and we saw Infuse kind of try and do this with Phantom, but Jerk seems to be doing it a little bit better, basically, and Masu's occasionally joined him, and it's been a constant bit of pressure being applied. So even before PyRoGEN can cross the street, they're having to at least eliminate 2 players from Dignitas, and then the respawns will come in for Dignitas. So they're playing it very well in this, and Jaquili just locking himself in, playing smart, using the map to his advantage, getting the kills onto 1. Not going to find the other 2 easy, but still, 2 tickets is not really enough for these guys to be working with, and there we have it, 103 advantage to Dignitas. Yeah,
that's one of the biggest leads today, I guess, and definitely not helpful when they're down 4v5, and Aiko being such a crucial player, and one of the biggest success stories player-wise that came out of the offline finals. He went on a kill streak against Fnatic, getting I think 8 to 9 kills, and you know, very smart plays as well, waiting for opponents to leave flags and everything, and you know, crucial player to to have, and such a nice guy as well. I talked to him quite a bit, and very, very friendly guy.
And to be fair, I do want to say credit to Dignitas. The one thing with your teams is they are actually very fair in the way they act, and even actually saying sorry that they had to play that one out the way they did. Obviously, you've got to go for the win in the end. There's no two ways about that, but still, obviously it's never nice to win because it was 4 players rather than 5. It's not quite as satisfying, but it's always nice to see a good bit of friendliness towards each other within the scene because, a lot of the teams, in other games, let's say, actually don't like each other that much, and they never say it. But obviously these guys are actually fairly, fairly civil to each other. Unlike you towards most French teams, your team are actually doing a lot better. So, hopefully we'll see a nice, better game now. PyRoGEN do have their, entirety of their team back with us. They do have 5. So, your thoughts is, this many tickets a bit too much?
I think 103 is definitely a bit too much, but maybe we can see a miracle here from PyRoGEN, and that's kind of what they need, or maybe at least 2 disconnects on Dig side. But yeah, if they're going to do it, they're going to have to come out ultra aggressive here, and just checking their loadouts here. Pretty much playing 4 assaults, 1 engineer, and I'm going to guess that engineer is Ikaho. He is not actually alive right now, so I can't find out. Yeah, he'll be engineer, so there you go.
Interesting choices being made, so we'll see how that one pays off for these guys. So PyRoGEN will be on the Russian team, and they're the ones who now have to watch everything that they're doing because every ticket now counts, and they seem to have themselves ready for brace towards C because they know what Dignitas are like, and they will immediately push towards this. We are seeing the likes of Frantic just getting right into the faces of Flash, and that's just opened this one up. There is a wild Milicium all the way back, watching that backside push. He's going to get a good couple of kills, but he can be easily negated once his presence is known, but it's doing the job for now. They will hold on to that, but B is going Dignitas' way, so it'll be a 2-to-1 hold, surely, right off the bat, which just really doesn't bode well for the opposition.
No, not at all. I'm sure they're well aware of the difficulties they have right now. But that's a solid rocket playing grenades onto that B flag and really opening up this B flag and doing what they can here. And Benny here sneaking around, getting a kill on Frantic here, really unhinging that defense on B. And you know what? Pyro are threatening a trip cap here, and they could damn well do it as well.
Yeah, Dignitas left with just A in hand. There's just Jerk defending it. So, the likes of Flash, the likes of Hadrian could really cause trouble. And Jerk and Sneaky actually tell a lie. When Sneaky's still alive, I should really stop doubting you guys. He just picked up 2 back-to-back kills. And Frantic just joins in. Nade, follow-up kill, gets the revive on 1. Going to get that cap on the way, but 3 points now being contested. Dignitas have C. They're going to get B. And it's a bit of a switch around. PyRoGEN just end up walking away with A. And, Jerk originally was the one man holding on to this. But now he can just kind of be the pest that he knows he can be, and he was doing it before over by the back buildings by C, and this role for him just seems to play out perfectly. But still, they may lose out on C, and they don't seem to be getting a push towards A. Is this, time for Dignitas to play a little bit more defensive and hold this 2-to-1?
I think Dignitas really at this point they can relax a little, just try and get kills as much as they can, and try and just get the flag captures when they can. No, don't push this. Don't get ultra aggressive. Take their time. Relax and just play smart, and that's what they're doing right now. And I think if they just relax a bit here and just clear out some of these defenders in the buildings, they'll be all right. But Pyro, they're trying to win this one, even though it's going to be a very, very difficult comeback, even to try and pull off.
And I tried to sit on board with Sneaky then, but he decided to just go AFK for a little bit, so that didn't go too well. And actually, let's sit on board with Masu, because he's yet to get a kill. I feel as though that would be the only fair way to do things in a moment, once he gets back on board, and we can bring a bit of the caster's curse. But at the moment, we are seeing PyRoGEN, as you mentioned, they are out to win this. They have the ideal setup here, they have the ideal hold. The last man in the squad is Chiquili, who's going to be trying to do some damage. The respawns will be coming in for Dignitas, but they are desperately far back, and C is the only side they had, and it's all they'll be sticking with for now. So they are at a disadvantage, but still, a huge ticket lead to them, 103. So looking at it this way, if the Russian side of PyRoGEN drop below 103, they will already be losing out on this map. But PyRoGEN are, as you said, out for blood. Frantic goes on the flank, doesn't get it, but we're seeing Jerk going on a little bit of a solo mission here towards the A sign. This could be enough to tip it over if he does claim this one. Med packs are down. He knows there's going to be a player here. He's got a respawn on him, but actually, he's doing this fairly uncontested. This is very surprising stuff. Normally, you'd have at least a player trying to hold them back, but this will give them a 2-to-1 for a moment. And Dignitas they're such a great side of doing this kind of stuff, and it's gonna get these tickets eventually away from PyRoGEN, and they're not having a clear, easy access towards C either. And Dignitas don't necessarily play for the early game, it seems. They don't go for the initial kind of battle, but they'll always come out with the advantage in the end.
Yeah, they're a very interesting team to watch sometimes. They're not quite easy to categorise as some others. So, but right now, just doing what they need to do to win this game. I mean, the lead is really, from the previous round, is so massive. It's very difficult for PyRoGEN to escape it at this point. And Dig really just need to keep his bleed going. And yeah, I can't see what Pyro can do at this point.
Yeah, to put it into kind of basic terms, is if there's an extended 2-1 hold to Dignitas at any point with a good couple of kills coming in, they're basically on the victory door, which they have at the moment. They're getting the kills with Jug, finding Benny, Jaquili holding on towards B. You can see these guys are just doing what they have to do. B is being contested, but the tickets are getting so low. We are now a mere couple away from the victory coming through here. PyRoGEN are being wiped out towards that B side. They still have Hadrian alive, but 4 tickets left. 1 more to go, and they'll be almost out of this map and into the second. They know it's pretty much over. Sneaky finding the kills, not going to help, and next map it is. Melisium saying that one pretty damn quickly there. So, first map Dignitas, I don't think there's any surprise in that, and if I'm completely honest, looking at the way Dignitas were playing, I feel as though they would have picked that up even if they, were against a team with 5, and maybe hindsight is 2020, and, it's easy to read into that, but they just played really damn well. I hate to be nice to your guys, but they are pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was about 60-40 before the crash, and Dig were ahead by about 20-30 tickets, but it was close, and it really, you can't really read too much into it, obviously, with a crash. So, well, Dignitas take the first map, so we're on to Locker next, and a map that PyRoGEN seem to be doing remarkably well on, but a map that also seems to be becoming a lot closer than what we're used to, where one team would just get a solid hold and just bleed out a significant amount of tickets. Now, both teams, every team really, has worked out a way to just keep it fast and quick, and some games now come down to like a handful of tickets.
Yeah, it did. As you said, it did seem to be a very kind of one-sided game, whoever got the better setup very early on. And I do want to ask you a question. Do you think it's because of the gun changes? Because let's, we can talk about the Scar H a little bit here, I feel. I don't think we should harp on about it because I'll probably get in trouble. But weapons like that, let's say you're, defending C or you're attacking C, you've got a viable way of doing it. So let's say you've got, the A spawn, for example. You have the high ground, you get a Scar H, you can pretty much gift yourself, or at least hold a neutral site there and then push someone onto it eventually. But with that now removed, it's kind of switched things up a little bit.
I think what is really changed up is the hip firing of the Ace 52 and the Scar H, which was basically weapons that would be pretty much well-rounded everywhere else. Okay, the Ace 23 will win at long range, but medium and short, Scar H is going to win out, and so is the Ace 52. But more importantly, the hip fire would just be devastating. It would be like ridiculously powerful. It would just destroy everything, and that's really the reason it got banned out by the competitive teams.
And it's actually made the game a little bit more interesting for me to watch as well. I've actually really enjoyed watching it at the moment. And Lock has changed a fair bit. That's the thing that has kind of rung true to me, is that it does seem a little bit of a different map on occasion now. So we are just going to wait for these guys to get ready and get underway. Obviously, both teams want to be making sure everyone's in the server and no one's playing 4-on-5. But how is Dignitas' performance on this map? Because obviously you can give me an insight that most other people can't. You are someone who looks babysits the teams, but you look after them. You are basically a gaming babysitter, which I like. It's a great title. And I think I'm going to use that more. In any lower third you now have, you will be Dignitas babysitter. But no, I want your insight towards this map, because whenever I think about this map, I think about maybe originally Fnatic, who kind of just dominated this for a while, and then I looked at the likes of UMAV, who came out and kind of overthrew them. But how are Dignitas kind of doing at this one?
It's an interesting one. I think they can have really good performances on this map and some quite poor ones, and they're pretty hot and cold on Locker, I'd say. But it's a map that is played a lot. They're so used to this map, so everyone plays Locker, so you kind of get used to it after a while. I would say this probably does favour PyRoGEN. I mean, they are picking it, but Dig must have been aware that this was going to get picked at some point, so it will have been heavily practiced. I still give the edge to PyRoGEN. I feel that infantry-wise they might have the edge here, but let's see how the pickup of Frantic does, because this is the kind of map that a player like him will do remarkably well on, a Call of Duty player and a Shoot Mania and an Unreal Tournament player.
Does he want to play anything else? Is he just, you know, racking up all the titles?
Apparently. I mean, well, come on, it's like classic, well, for example, Valutasia, Too Easy, maybe. I mean,
true.
Some of the guys in the Fnatic lineup, Zakibus is another person.
Look, Zakibus is so old now.
Yeah,
he's not allowed to play games anymore.
No, he's gone too senile to play professionally.
He has,
That's why he casts.
Exactly. Those who can do, those who can't cast. It's very simple.
Yeah, and you know, back before you either played one game completely and made your money from that, or you were a mercenary and you played whatever had prize money, and that's what people like Frantic and Valutasia, Zakibus, myself, and many others.
Whoa, Valu wasn't enemy territory, man. Let's bring this back down. And then he sold his soul. But you know, originally enemy territory. So you know, back when we called him Reload back in the day. You know, let's...
Reload, what he's got other names as well.
Dead Meat was one, Bulldozer was another,
really needs to
Valutasia.
Pick a name, I think. So let's just stick with Reload next time I cast his games.
See, Reload has been like the longest one I think he had.
Yeah, he really hates it when we do that, so...
Doesn't matter, I think we need to do it more. Estonians don't get humour. Like, I love Estonians, but they don't understand anything funny, so we'll just do that to him until he maybe finds it amusing. But anyway, Dignitas will be starting on the Russian side, and on the US side, it will be the opposition of PyRoGEN. So... you can kind of take us through what we can expect here on these two and what sort of starts we may be seeing coming out from them.
Oh, normal start really. C is quite an easy capture for the US side as they kind of get their first time. And more importantly right now, the tunnel here is kind of a very pivotal area. And right now, Dignitas have been completely shut out of it. And it's just Giggly holding this A flag by himself. Spawn's coming eventually. That's a 3-man spawn out there. But Jerk holding down outside of C on the hill, really just pinning down what they can. And you know what, this is quite a good start for Dignitas. They just need to consolidate their capture here on that B flag. And now PyRoGEN are stuck outside, but PyRoGEN here, not too bad. They will push this A flag really heavy, and Dig, if they can hold this defense, will take a quite strong lead starting out.
Yeah, most certainly. And there are still two players completely dedicated towards A. We've got one towards the sideway, but Jaquili getting the brilliant shot, creating that crossfire around the back of the A side. I do love watching that when they do it so well. And right now he's going to have to fall back to a more defensive posture, allow them a little bit further forward, and he's going to have to depend on all these guys to land their shots. Jerk has gone down just as he took out that medkit, but Jaquili doing his job. He's now actually come around and support, because Sneaky now goes down as well. Jaquili has to be the one-man band, and he's in trouble. He's going to be overrun here. He's got support coming in the form of Massive coming in big, takes down one, going to have to back away. Echo does go down. Jerk comes in. Jaquili decides to make it hard. Let me take down my teammate. But Frantic helps clean up. And they've just about held on here. And look at this play from Frantic right around towards outside C. They could be getting a triple cap off the back of this. If they can get A, if they can hold on to this, which they're not far from doing, they could have come out with a triple cap. But for now, they might be getting a 2-1. But look at the spawn from Flashall.
Yeah, that's always going to happen though, and that's why investing so much into A and C is very dangerous. You want to win out on C, on A, and wow, Masu there getting a kill there, and it's going to be Melisian by himself, and he's got a 3-man push from Dig to deal with. He needs to hold this down long enough for reinforcements to come in, and that's going to happen. Ico's coming, but right now Dignitas getting what they need here, but no one on that C flag, and you can see Ico, such a smart player, realizes it, doesn't even go into that A flag and just goes out to get a capture on C, and Dig here going for that B capture. But I think this is going to be a game of rotation, Pansy. They all know that which flags are going to be heavily defended. None of them really want to fight it out. They just want to get an easy cap.
Yeah, and it's not always the wrong idea to go for. Sometimes you can get the advantage with these smart rotates, but obviously we have the advantage of being able to see the entire map, whereas they don't get the beauty of seeing the map that we do. And the fact that they can read into each other's plays like this is just brilliant to watch. Very close game, 122 to 125. At the moment, PyRoGEN do walk away with the advantage, but Dignitas are still around that B side. They could still go for a capture here. Sneaky living up to that name quite drastically. He's getting the respawns onto him, but they're going to be leaving A A near on, not undefended, but quite light here. B will be taken over, but an exchange going through. Frantic battling it out with one as Sneaky comes in big, taking down two for himself, but it looks like B is open for the taking, but Dignitas claiming A this time, but still, it'll be a 2-1 hold in favor to PyRoGEN unless Dignitas can kind of start moving towards that B site that they wanted.
Yeah, I'm interested to see exactly how Dig's going to work this, but right now Pyro are holding two spawns right now. Not really doing much with them, waiting for, see what they do, go for the random one, see what happens. Both of them round B, so nothing really great for them there, and Dig leaving Drakili just always holding down that A flag. It is really just his flag, and Jerk outside, so you can see Jerk is the C guy, and Drakili is the A guy, so, and everyone else really just goes wherever they're needed. But look at this stacking up with the metal detectors from Pyro.
Yeah, two players laying in wait. It's Frantic and Jaquili. As you said, big assist coming in, and it's Jaquili killing them both. Flash and Melicium go down. Frantic comes in more one, but the side split coming out did eventually take him down, but the revive coming through. Jaquili and Frantic, the duo of absolute doom, doing the damage, and they should be able to pick up a nice cap. Push out comes in, and here comes the counterplay from PyRoGEN. They need to make this one count, as even though they're still slightly in the lead at the moment, it's a nice little setup from Dignitas, and they are going to try and hit up that C side, maybe expecting Jerk to not be there, and he is literally perching on top, and not sure what happened then. It was a little bit of a fluffed aim, but he still did get it in the end. But this will be turned over to the hands of PyRoGEN, and Dignitas just don't seem to be having those quick rotates we've seen before. They get the kills, but they're just, I don't know, they're not being able to convert it. What's going on with these guys?
I think it's very difficult sometimes to push onto that B flag, especially if you don't do it. You got to gamble sometimes. You just got to hope that the fight's going to go your way sometimes. And finally, they kind of get that kill, but they need control of this middle tunnel right now. And it's only Aiko alive, actually, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, but they need to be very careful. But Marsu here holding down that tunnel entrance, doing what he can. But you kind of feel that the number game is big, but he gets two while he's waiting, and Frantic's there as well. And if he can get the kill, and he does, that's a 4-man wipe on the tunnel entrance there, and this gives Dig a bit of a respite here. And Frantic, he's going to go for a C flag as well. He's going to go for a domination cap.
And I don't blame him. They're in a good position to do so. He has support coming through. He's going to have to win this 1v1 up on this hill, up against Ikaho eventually, but he's going to try and negate his presence, get around the side, get that cap going, just to, you know, really shake him up. He comes back around for the frag, picks it up with Jaquili in tow, and they might just get a triple cap for a second, as, you know, to be fair, they've not completely lost out on B either, and, oh, Sneaky does just go down, but Jerk is still here, so this could be another triple cap. C is up for grabs. That's been converted. There's the trip cap coming over. And well, I've got to say it, PyRoGEN losing that 5th member, once again, not going to help.
Wow, and it's not even someone who's Aikaho as well, so PyRoGEN not looking good right now. They seem to definitely been cursed, as they're saying. Hadrian saying 5v5 is overrated. And the worst thing is, both times that there have been crashes for PyRoGEN, it's not like they've been winning either. I mean, no. I'm not taking it away from them, saying it that you know, they would lose anyway, but they are not winning this round anyway, and then there's a crash on top of it to make it worse, and Dignitas are just coming in for the kill right now. Yeah,
and you know, as much as these teams obviously do get along, you've got to take the victory when it's there. There's no love lost between these scorelines. They're going to have to make the most of it, because this is a way through to tomorrow's games where there is obviously money on the line, and, you know, obviously getting through to the groups is there as well, and PyRoGEN is still very much up there, so they're not going to exactly lose out on everything, just not having a 5th player, but it doesn't help, if that makes sense. It really doesn't, just because they know that now, okay, we had a close game, but, you know, it's not great. We've got maybe more of an advantage than the last game. At least we're, you know, not going to be facing off against 103 tickets, but still, you know, a big thing to work back from. 86 is not a brilliant number. One triple cap is pretty much going to get you on the road to picking that one up, and you know, I think we need to give credit to Dignitas, because it's very easy on occasion to ignore the fact that half this game was played out with a 5v5, and, you know, Sneaky has been absolutely phenomenal for these guys, as has Jaquili. Jaquili only dying twice. These two have been outstanding between each other, but the same can be said for, you know, the likes of Ikaho and, you know, a couple of other players who are playing very well. Maybe not on the scoreboard, but the work they were doing was very much a important factor, and at the moment, it's not really going to be paying off much, as it's going to be at least above 70. That's going to hurt.
Yeah, this is pretty devastating, especially on the map that they picked as well. And, you know, I want to bring up Drakili again, because Giggly, because Seriously, this guy is the A-hold master. I've never seen someone who gets that flag more than anyone else, and
Yep.
he holds it against some insane odds sometimes. So he doesn't always get the praise sometimes. I think people generally look at the scores, and it's very rare you might see him on top, but he plays a crucial role, especially on defending that A flag, and you can see PyRoGEN put a lot of effort into trying capturing that A flag, and they were frustrated a lot of the time.
And I don't blame them. You know, Jaquili was literally picking up double after double, and yeah, he had support from Frantic occasionally, but it wasn't like, you know, Frantic was getting all of these in the bag for him. Jaquili did do very well for himself, and as you mentioned, he doesn't get all the attention, and, you know, a lot of these players who do a lot of the, you know, the groundwork, maybe not the pretty stuff, you know, they don't get the kind of recognition they deserve, but certainly he did very well now, and it's kind of paid off. And, you know, you may look at it and say, oh, they won because it was 5v4. Actually, Dignitas were doing very well anyway. They had, you know, a solid start to this one. Dignitas holding out until their last is in, so it'd be an 84 ticket advantage to Dignitas if you want to look at that way, or, you know, PyRoGEN have to stay above 84 tickets and take all of them away from Dignitas. I swear to God, I'm losing the ability to speak English. Like, living in Germany has ruined me speaking English. It's terrible. And I came here to cast video games. Jesus, what has happened to my life? Oh, Lord. It's not going well, dog, but...
How good's your German, then?
Oh, it's the only word I can say are swear words, which I was very close to saying. So I'm glad I didn't join that one in. So apparently his internet dropped.
Yeah, so do you just like do what most English people do when they go abroad? Just speak a lot
loudly and slowly?
And just like with your hands everywhere and point at what you want?
Maybe. I can say the local beer. That's fine. And various other, like kebab, I can say, you know, that's basically the P at the end. Nailed that. Very simple stuff, but, you know, Kolsch, I've got down. Give a bit of Kolsch is always good. We are waiting, obviously, for the final member to come back from PyRoGEN, and we can go back to the rave in the Dignitas spawn. Jesus.
Oh, they're having a rave. Yeah, you know,
they did this before. It's great.
I told them to get the EOD bots out. Instead, they're just sticking with the rave. I mean, this is what they did in the Beta Cup, like a long time ago. They just love this rave.
There's nothing wrong with it, you know. They're in the security cells. You might as well have fun while you can. It's not exactly a fun map to look at, you know what I mean? It's icy in a prison, basically. You've got to have some sort of amusement. They are killing each other, though, which is slightly depressing, you know. That's not what you want. But still, as I said, my English is lacking. Nothing I can say other than that. Look, don't knock the fact that one of my two German words, I can say left and right as well, because I take a lot of cabs everywhere because I'm lazy. P on the end of kebab is German to me because it's not the same in England. Leave my ignorance alone. I'm so bad at this. Honestly, like, to be fair though, right, Joe Miller speaks perfect German. Like,
have you seen what's going on the helipad here?
No, I was looking at the rave still. Oh, god damn it, Alright, I'm going over. Wow, you can tell these are your team, can't you? It's Robot Wars, this is amazing! I used to love Robot Wars.
Craig Charles.
Yeah!
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, this is brilliant.
My idea for an amazing video in Battlefield is to get like 40, 50 people onto a server and just chase tanks with like 50 or 60 EOD bots.
Oh, I don't see why we don't do this. The backflip on the stairs was magical. Oh, this is great. You know, why are we doing a game when we could just look at this? Like, I
actually like Robo Wars.
This is amazing. Hadrian's body is just being broken. Oh. So hopefully you guys are having a good time in chat. I think you guys... I give up. Like, I genuinely want to cast this. I genuinely... This is what I want to do with the rest of my life. Oh, I finally found out.
You don't need a knife round, you just need a bot round from now on.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Honestly, I find knife rounds so boring at times. And, you know, this would make it genius. Well, at least Dignitas are getting their warm-up in, you know. They're getting ready. The 5 players are back, so we will be underway nice and quickly. Dear Lord.
When we go into first person on the bots, oh my god, we can! You can click on the bots and go first person.
Alright, I'm going to stick on board with Sneaky. He was a bit of a beat. It's slightly sickening to watch. Sneaky. Backflips. Go up the stairs. Oh. Ramming other robots doesn't really help, apparently. Wow. That was a great little pre-show moment. I'm glad that, you know, Dignitas have finished. Only Finnish people.
Well, they're not all Finnish now because Sneaky's obviously Swedish and Frantic is from Holland. So it's you know, they're now having to incorporate English into what was beforehand just crazy Finnish people. And we used to have a team in TF2 who were all Finnish. Yeah. And they were absolutely crazy.
Who was the captain of that team?
Dan, it was.
He was good fun at an iSeries to go for a couple of beers with.
A couple of beers?
I don't promote alcohol.
I've never seen him without one, so he definitely
it's the hats he had as well. They were great.
A personality if ever I've met one.
Most definitely. So anyway, I think we are almost ready to get back underway. On the US side, it will be Team Dignitas. On the Russian side, it will be PyRoGEN. And once again, we see a bit of a deficit, sadly, with PyRoGEN. If they drop below 84 tickets, they are out of there, and Dignitas will pick it up in 2 maps. So, Dignitas, Dogbook, can you stop doubting my counting ability, please?
I just wanted to make sure, because I'd forgot before you even mentioned it. I'd already
You're a bad person.
So.
I'm a professional, you see. I've learned to count.
You got
just let me down.
With them written down. I'm sure that's what it is.
Shut up. My notepad is vital to my casting, but we are underway, and we will be seeing what these guys go for immediately. And it looks like they're not going towards C from the Russian side, and it looks like they're going to be met with a big wall of Dignitas fire as Jerk finally splits off towards that C side. He's going to get himself out here, spots out the opponents, gets the tags, gets the frags, flashes down, C is open, and I've got to say it looks like this is going to be a firm victory so far from at least the initial push for Dignitas, as they're making their way in drastically towards A. Frantic does exchange, but Masu still pushed up, could do damage. He's going to have to fall back, but too little too late as Flash has got that back spawn, and they could be getting this B site now.
Yeah, definitely. And Dignitas here, you know, they're going to have to fight for this one. This isn't going to be given to them. I mean, they did win the previous round, but PyRoGEN just come up big with these kills, and they can still win this one. I mean, this map can bring out some big scores sometimes.
It definitely can. If we look at this map of old, it really was. But we'll see if they can kind of do something similar. And we are seeing Jaquili pushing in towards A. The A Master does sadly get taken down, and this time it looks like actually Dignitas just about holding on with Sneaky being here still. Oh, beautiful work. Takes down Echo. That's the squad wide coming in. So they will be able to maintain A. They've got C, and now B is up in the air. We've got Masu nading out. Flag is going back and forth. Catches a glimpse, comes back through, challenge out Melisium, and picks up the kill. Dignitas are looking dangerous here.
Yeah, and this is just them really pushing it. They kind of know exactly that they're already quite far ahead here. They've got Jerk and Giggly holding down that A and C flag, and you know they're just getting kills at C and B, sorry, just delaying any respite on that ticket lead.
Yeah, it's going to start hurting now, and we do see a nice spawn though coming for PyRoGEN. They are out by that C site. There is still Jerk laying in wait, but he's right up in towards those cliffs and mountains. He's not been spotted out just yet. He knows they're on that site. He doesn't want to give it away just yet. But he does need to make his move pretty damn soon, as B is staying in the hands of PyRoGEN. He's waiting for the push out. He's going to catch a glimpse of the player. Oh, he gets the kill, but will he move straight in? Does he expect the support? I think he's just caught a glimpse of them. B still in the hands of the opposition. Jerk is still battling it out here. He needs some help. I don't think he's going to get this on his own, but he's biding enough time. He's taken the time for Dignitas to get themselves back in towards B. There's one man left holding this. It's Hadrian, and he's certainly not being the wall of defense he can be right now. He gets taken down in the end. B will be going over towards Dignitas, and A still in their hands with Jaquili defending it. That's a tough thing to break down.
Yeah, I mean, just look at him go. I mean, he got caught out there in a way. They had to jump on him and still managed to get the kill. Makes it a second, eventually goes down to grenades, but yeah, that bleed's just ticking over right now, and PyRoGEN, they need to get an A capture or a B capture, and need to get it immediately.
Well, they need to get a trip cap, if anything, because 93 tickets, 84 is the limit. It's not looking good, and Dignitas looking really, really strong, to be fair, on this side. They've come out fighting. C is the only side that PyRoGEN have been able to walk away with it, trying to get towards B. Good shot there from Melisium, finding Frantic, but I feel this is too little too late right now. 84 tickets, one more ticket. They're below the threshold. GG, well played, Arced. And Dignitas do manage to get through to the next round. Sadly, PyRoGEN will be leaving us early, but your team, your boys have done very well. You should be proud.
Yeah, I mean, ahead in both games before the crash, but really doesn't say much. I mean, crashes are crashes, and, you know, even though Dignitas finally get some revenge on PyRoGEN, it's definitely not in the way they would want it to be, and, you know, bittersweet in a way, but, you know,
when did you become honourable, Dog? But come on now.
When I'm not playing myself. If I'm playing, it's very different.
Fair enough. But guys, well, I need to check in with the bracket, see if anyone else has actually been confirmed going through it. Because that was quite a quick game, because obviously the dropouts and the very quick differences. So the other games going on at the moment, we obviously didn't get to see the others, because, you know, we're doing the game we were in. So it was Fnatic up against Infamous. I feel Fnatic's going to pick that one up. They looked really in form, personally. Your opinions on that one?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to struggle there. I think Fnatic will go through 2-0. The interesting game, actually, is going to be the Planet Key versus Meet Your Makers. That game is going to be a closely fought one, I feel.
Yeah, both teams certainly very talented, but I feel Planet Key got into their stride towards the end of the final season, whereas, you know, Meet Your Makers have always been around. They've been kind of hot on the heels of the top teams. Other than that, we obviously just saw Dignitas taking down PyRoGEN. They'll be getting themselves through. And then the other game is Exacquo up against Epsilon. Now, I always find it very easy to underestimate Exacquo, but they do have some very talented players there. And Epsilon, I haven't seen a lot of recently.
I met the Exacquo guys at IEM, actually, randomly caught me as they were coming through. They've been playing some Titanfall, but, you know, they were a team I expected to actually get to the LAN final last time, and, you know, they got surprised, really, by Icybox, I believe, or either way, they got surprised, and, you know, they didn't go through, but, you know, I still feel going up against a team like Epsilon, I mean, if they beat them, they can basically say we're a top 3 team. But the problem is they're taking on a team like Epsilon, who really have not been showing any signs of slowing down unless they are fighting Fnatic.
Yeah, so possibly by, let's say, our predictions, Dignitas are through to the, you know, tomorrow's games in the semi-finals. Should be joined by Epsilon, so that'll be the game in the lower side of it. Top side, I'd say Fnatic, but Planet Key or Meet Your Makers, I'm not sure where I want to put my money. I'm going to say Meet Your Makers up against Fnatic, but I still don't know. It could go either way there. Certainly worth checking out. So, guys, if you do want to see the brackets, obviously head on over to ESL-1.com. Make your predictions and get involved. And obviously, if you have enjoyed the stream, make sure to follow my incredible co-caster on Twitter, who was Dignitas Dogbut. He's done a great job, and he's been, you know, truly helping me out and making me sound like I may have a vague idea about this game on occasion. I'm mostly just sounding bitter and salty. So, you know, that's the other thing. But as well, make sure you follow myself at They Call Me Pansy. And guys, do follow the Twitch channel. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time with both semi-finals and the grand final to find out who'll be walking away with, you know, a good chunk of change and, you know, a hell of a lot of points going forward, going towards the groups, and then the offline stage, which has even more money. So if you want to check out all the information, do, once again, as I said, head on over towards the ESL-1.com site. But guys, that is it from us tonight, and hopefully you'll be tuning in tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then.